You are listening to the Disney Dreamgirls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 208 for the 6th of May 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dreamgirls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, my lovely.
Hello there, Michelle. How are you?
I'm jolly good, my darling. How's you?
I'm okay. I've got a bit of a cold at the moment. I don't know how well my voice sounds, but it sounds very croaky to me at the moment.
Oh, sweetie pie. Hopefully we'll have some nice warm weather to nurse you back to good health soon.
Well, I'm hoping so. This weekend is supposed to be nice, and I've got my little Legoland troop this weekend, so I'm fingers crossed it's going to be nice.
I can't wait to hear all about that. That sounds fun.
Hope so.
As we've just said, we will have had the May the 4th celebrations. I'm planning on a Star Wars day. I don't think the kids at school know what I'm on about, but hey-ho.
Yes, it's one of those little things. There'll be lots of memes going around about May the 4th be with you, won't there?
Absolutely. Talking about making us smile and all warm and cosy inside, I gather we've had some iTunes reviews.
Yes, actually, over here in the UK store. I do wish people would have names that I could read, though. That'd be really, really helpful. This is Thebe, Thebie 83, left us an awesome 5-star review on the 25th. We had 96 Mitch P did as well. So thank you very much for those UK ones. Have we had any from anywhere else at all, Michelle?
We have indeed. In the USA, Laced Barbed Wire said, whilst they don't agree with our turkey leg viewpoints, they think the show's a bit of a winner. And also we had a fabulous review from WDW Parks Gal. Over even further away in the Australian store, there's a big shout out to cat_Sut for a lovely review. And I can put 2 and 2 together and kind of guess that's Cat from Cat and Lewis.
I must admit, that was my thought as well.
Yeah. I'm glad she's left me a good review, otherwise it would be an awful holiday.
Yeah, it could be a bit awkward, that, couldn't it?
Yeah. Pass me the salt, Michelle. No, pass it yourself. You left me a bad iTunes review, and there's no Wi-Fi here for you to upgrade it.
Yeah, trapped on a big ship, that wouldn't be good, would it, really?
No. Let's hear from our Karen and have a little listen at what's happening this week in Disney history.
This day in Disney history, things happened. Get over it. Bye. Just kidding you there. I actually have things to say. I was just trying to give a little bit of a goof just before the episode began. Let's get it started properly now. On the 6th of May, 1916, Adriana Caselotti was born. Name that familiar? Well, she was the voice behind the much-loved, mostly by my mother, Snow White. Another big event on this day is that the Walt Disney Studios moved into a 51-acre site in Burbank, California. Now on to the 6th of May in 1969, Roger Broggie and Elle Vilmer brought 5 railroad... So I was fine on the Broggie and Vilmer line, but railroad, oh no. No, I can't do that. I can't pronounce that for some reason. In 1969, Roger Broggie and Elle Vilmer brought 5 railroad engines across with an array of spare parts from the United Railways of Yucatan in Mexico. 4 of these engines were eventually named Walter E. Disney, Lily Bell, Roger E. Broggie, and Roy O. Disney. Keeping on with the train theme, on the 7th of May 1950, the very first train officially ran on the tracks of Walt Disney's Carolwood Drive home in Holmby Hills. Moving onwards to the 10th of May in 2008, Toy Story Midway Mania opened for annual pass holders at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Onwards 2 days to the 12th of May in 1937, Winnie the bear that inspired the Winnie the Pooh stories, died. Winnie was a female black bear that lived most of her 20-year life at the London Zoo. And finally, on the 13th of May 1971, this person called I think they're called Michelle Young was born in Leeds, England. I think she's my mother. Happy birthday, Mum! I'm just kidding. Don't have a go at me. Anyway, I was Kieran, and probably all of that is getting cut out. Most likely is. Anyway, I was Kieran, I think, and goodbye.
Oh, bless him. He does a good old job, doesn't he?
He does. You got him trained well there, Michelle.
He makes me very, very proud, I must admit. I'm not sure what we'll do with this segment when he goes to university in September. He may just have to email his recordings over to me.
I'm going to say technology, there's no bounds to what we can do.
True, I'll have to Skype. But I'd like to go back to the very first one he mentioned about Snow White. Surprise, surprise, we've been doing well with this. We're keeping up the Snow White news. Adriana Casalotti was paid $970 for voicing Snow White.
It's quite a lot of money back then.
It was quite a lot of money back then. But interestingly, when I was doing a bit of research about it, because it is my favourite, because she is my favourite princess, Jack Benny, the radio persona in the USA,
yes.
is known to have approached the Disney company to use her voice and her talent on his show, and he was basically told she was not available, as they did not want Snow White's voice being used elsewhere to spoil the illusion of her character.
Ooh. But I suppose we are talking about the era of Hollywood where people were signed to studios as well, aren't we? So there will probably be a little bit of that happening as well, I would have thought.
Yeah, a little bit of a golden handcuff.
Possibly.
But interestingly enough, she worked on 2 further films, and both of them are favourites of mine. Any idea?
I don't actually know.
In The Wizard of Oz, she was the voice of Juliet, which appears in the song If I Only Had a Heart, and she said, "Wherefore art thou, Romeo?"
Oh, okay.
And then the second one was in It's a Wonderful Life.
One of my favourite movies. Why do I not know this? Go on, carry on.
So James Stewart is praying in Martini's bar, and in the background she can be heard singing.
Oh, yes, I know that scene very well, yes.
Yeah. In addition to movies, her voice was heard at the Snow White Grotto, because when Disneyland was refurbished, she re-recorded I'm Wishing at the ripe age of 75.
Bless her.
Yeah. Talk about girl power. And in 1994, she was named a Disney legend and got her own, little legend statue.
As she should, yes.
Yeah, and sadly, 1997, she passed away.
But what a career.
Yeah, I think she would have liked a bit more of a fuller career, but because her voice wasn't credited in Snow White, I think that sort of closed doors for her because people didn't know who she was, and you can't just start claiming it was me when there's no proof of it.
Yeah, that's very true. Otherwise, we'd be going around claiming that we were different people to who we were, wouldn't we?
Yeah, true. Okay, well, some things that I've been receiving in the old email, Rooney, and I've had an email from the lovely Diane, who comes all the way from lovely Blackpool. Sunny Blackpool. And she's asked us, what are our top tips for someone planning a Walt Disney World holiday this year? So I'm going to pass the mantle over to you, Jayne, because even though I know you're not going, I do know that you're keeping your finger on the pulse and you've got some cracking tips for me.
This is a difficult one when you're not going, because it's very tempting to plan and then realise you can't do it. So it's a bit of a bummer at times when you do that. I think any Disney World holiday, regardless of when you're going, I would just say research. Read up before you go. Get your hands on as many books as you can, or, search out the websites, check out pages like our Facebook page and our Twitter feed, because we're always talking about things that are happening, that are coming up. We might have good links on there for you for other podcasts that might be worth a while giving a listen. But I can't stress enough that, especially people coming from the UK going over to Disney World, how vast a place it is to actually go. And people over here don't always realise just what's on offer. And I think you have to do that reading up, figure out what bits appeal to you? Because there will be bits that don't appeal. You might have people in your group that like roller coasters, or people like me that don't. Or you might have people that want to experience things outside of the theme parks and want to do the crazy golfs and things like that. Unless you know what's on offer, you can't begin to plan. And as we know, Michelle, the whole most important part of any Disney World vacation is the planning aspect, is it not?
Well, I like to think of my Disney holiday as not just the 2 to 3 weeks you are physically there. I like to think of my Disney holiday as a sort of a 18-month experience where there's always something for me to fiddle with. Whether I'm looking at dining, whether I'm researching places to go off-site, which hotel to book. There's just so much. And if you spread it out, to be honest, it's expensive to get there. But for the amount of time you have to plan, it sure is value for money.
I know, that's what I always say. And I actually love that whole build-up to that trip because it gets you more excited. You find out things, even talking about Disney week in, week out with you and keeping a track of things on the internet and what have you. I always surprise myself that I'm finding out things that I might have missed or that I've not, that I've not heard of before. There's going to be a new menu happening somewhere, or there'll be a new cupcake that's coming out, or whatever it may well be. And that's kind of like, it helps with that excitement, it helps with that anticipation. And that, for me, like you've just said, Michelle, is part and parcel. It's not just the 2 weeks or whatever you may have physically there, it's that build up. And when you've got things like a whole Toy Story thing happening this year, you've got to be savvy to know what's happening. Are these things going to be open when you're there? Have you sorted out your My Disney experience? Have you looked at your fast passes? Do you know how the fast passes work? Do you know which rides and attractions it's actually worth getting those fast passes for? Because like we were saying only the other week about Animal Kingdom, weren't we, about looking at Pandora, there's certain things that you want to get the fast pass for, and there's maybe other things, Michelle, that aren't worth it.
Abso-flipping-lutely. But again, you totally hit the nail on the head there, Jane. The best thing to do with Walt Disney World vacations, a lot more so than Disneyland or Disneyland Paris, is you've got to do the research. I'd sing the praises to the high rooftops of the Unofficial Guide series.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Because their books are outstanding. Even if you go and look and read their blogs or contact them on Twitter or whatever, they will give you the answers you are looking for. And to be honest, the books are nothing. They don't cost a great deal of money.
No, and I would say as well, websites like Disney Food Blog is brilliant if you're interested in getting good dining tips as well. I love the Birnbaum guides purely because it was the first guidebook I ever bought to Disney World, and it's become a little bit of a tradition in our family that if we're going, I have to buy a Birnbaum. Not because it's filled full of amazing tips as such. I mean, there were some really good tips that we picked up very early on, but it does have little snippets of background information, and I kind of like that. And I will go out and I will probably spend a stupid amount of money on books that I don't really need to, but it's a good excuse because it's Disney planning and therefore I'm allowed.
Okay, well, let me hit my list.
Go on then.
This is when I was actually curiously talking about the aforementioned, the lovely Catherine from Dis Down Under, and I was talking to her that I'm getting ready at the moment to prep my mousekeeping envelopes.
Oh, yes.
So for those of you who are not in the know, I like to leave a little envelope every day in my Disney hotel with a few dollars on, and I like to decorate the envelope. The reason being I don't just put a few dollars on the bed or the bedside table or something is in years gone by when I've visited, mousekeeping haven't always taken the money. So I want to reward the person that's looking after our room,
Yeah.
So I like to do these little envelopes and I get a few dollars and put them in. I never seal the envelope, but I have them dated. So like maybe the first day, I always tend to leave a little bit more money just to sort of like entice them to really look after us.
Sweeten the deal.
Yeah, but like say for one day I've got lots of boxes because I've been to the outlet. Well, I might just want to put a couple more dollars in that day. So I don't seal them up, but they're there because when I'm in Walt Disney World, the last thing I want to be thinking about, have I got enough dollars for the mousekeeping? So this way, it's done, it's dusted, but again, it's adding that little bit of pixie dust to your vacation. If you're taking kids, get them to do it. It's a great little activity.
Yeah, I must admit I would back that as well, Michelle. It's something that I've always done as well.
Yeah. Another one is, well, I suppose this one is more about a little time scale of what you should be sort of doing and about when. Round about 200 days out, start looking for patterns in the park hours. Try and work out which days are going to have the extra magic hours. What park closing and opening might be like when you're going to be there. These get changed all the way up to literally the day you are there. So don't take your finger off that pulse. But at this point, you're then able to get a little bit of an idea about what sort of park you'd like to be in at that time. As soon as dates like the special events, such as food and wine, come in, plot them into your little spreadsheet, and I recommend Excel. I think it's ace. During this period, I think it's a great time for starting to read restaurant menus and reviews. And about 190 days, I'm ready with my ADR list.
Yeah.
And I'm very conscious of the ones that are hard to get. You're talking about your beaches and cream. You're talking about your California grill. You're talking about Be Our Guest. You're talking about Ohana. These are the really hard ones. Sometimes even in that, you're talking Chef Mickey's.
Yeah.
What I did this year is I booked a couple extra. So like Be Our Guest, we've got 3 or 4 ADRs for dinner because we're not 100% sure which day it'll fit in.
Right. Okay.
So I've got all this information all over the place on a big spreadsheet. And then by about 70 days, I've planned out each day roughly of where we're going to hit. And I'm not talking about 10:45 toilet break. I'm not like that. But I want to know what attractions I'm going to be hitting when I get to the park, which ones I want to fast pass, and where I'm thinking about my food's going to come from. Other than that, I'm very fluid. I'm not regimented at all. I know it sort of comes across as that, but I'm not. Then 70 days out, I know what Fast Pass Pluses I want to book, because at 60 days, I can book them. And this is when I then review my ADRs, because the Fast Pass Pluses might not marry up with the park I've got the meal in. So there's a bit of mixing around. I also recommend that you know your parks. Watch videos. Big Fat Panda, for example. Brilliant. Orlando Attractions Magazine. Fantastic.
Definitely.
Look at the parks. Look at where they're shooting their video from for the parade and for the fireworks. Is it a good view? Are there trees in front of you? Is it crowded? Is it next to a trash can that you can be leaning against while you're waiting for the parade time? Things like that, so you know an idea, because there's nothing worse 45 minutes before a parade, waiting out in a spot, and then all of a sudden you realise the sun's in your eyes.
True, very true.
That's a top tip. Keep a lock-in on your schedule and what you're going to do. So these are just some more general ones, and some of these I swear by. Cooling towels. If you're going at a warm time of the year, get those towels that you can put on the back of your neck to cool you down.
Oh, right, okay. Not done that one before, yeah.
We all know about the water hack, where you can go up to the counter service and get the water, or you can use the drinking fountains. But my top tip is, if you're wanting a soda, buy it from a place where you get unlimited refills while you're on premises, because then you can take a drink with you. So these are Sunshine Seasons, Electric Umbrella, Tortuga Tavern, Be Our Guest, Backlot Express, Restaurantosaurus, Satuli Canteen. They all have those refill stations for you.
Good tip, Michelle.
Well, that can save you a lot of money, because if you have a couple while you're in eating your meal and take one with you, well, that's 3 drinks for the price of one.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not telling you to do anything dodgy or anything like that at all, but if there's 2 of you in your party, that's all I'm saying.
Do the math.
Yeah. Another top tip, and this is one that Stephen and I are going to abuse like mad this year. I found a magical way to extend your park time.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking this is particularly useful for attractions such as Frozen Ever After, Avatar's Flight of Passage, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. These are the ones that tend to have your big, long waits. Peter Pan you can add in as well.
Yeah.
You get to those attractions 1 minute before park closing.
Right.
Then you get in line.
Yeah.
Because the park officially is closed, but they don't close the line off until park closing. So if it's a 60-minute wait for Frozen Ever After, you're doing that waiting not in the busy part of the day, you're doing it at the end of the day, thereby allowing the park to clear out, so you're not having to deal with the great unwashed as everybody's going home really hot and sweaty after a busy theme park day. And you're there, pleasant aircon, waiting to have an attraction, and you've extended your Disney day.
And you get that joy of walking through a half-empty park as well.
I know, if you time it perfectly, you'll be able to see the Kiss Goodnight, and then all the guys on Main Street, or whichever park you're in, with those big hoovers hoovering up all the popcorn and debris.
Yeah, different experience.
Absolutely. Right, so let's top this one off. That's it for Deanne. I hope we've come up with a few ones that you haven't heard of before. And now let's pop on our good friend Tommy, because he has come over from the Geek and Cruise Dudes to talk Pixar Fest.
Where dreams begin.
Well, after a massive absence of literally shows, I have been able to catch up with my wonderful friend, the dude from the Cruise Dudes and the Geeks, the wonderful Thomas Allison. Hello there, my friend.
Hello, Michelle. How are you today? It's so good to talk to you.
I am so much better for having my California buddy on the other end of this conversation.
Oh, you're so nice. I'm so glad to talk to you today. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
It is, because we have this long-running history of these conversations and these amazing recordings where you help us, who are not there in Disneyland, feel like we are there, because you go to the theme park for us. That's how good-hearted you are.
Somebody has to make the sacrifice,
And we thank you and salute you, sir, for doing so.
I'll send you my AP bill one month. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Please don't.
It's fun. We have a great time. My wife and I enjoy going to Disneyland, Disney California Adventure, of course, Downtown Disney, and all the other things that are around the parks and Anaheim area.
Well, we're going to talk about some things in a moment or two where we might not feel so healthy, and that's talking about some of the wonderful new food offerings. But before we get to the delicious delectables, Tommy, let's just think about what's going on in Disneyland at the moment. There's so much, but where shall we start?
Well, we should start in the Esplanade.
Go on, I'm with you. I'm stood by the side.
Well, actually, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit further than the Esplanade. Let's go back up to Downtown Disney. Like I said earlier, we usually walk from Mickey and Friends into Downtown Disney. That's usually about a mile, and it takes about an extra 10 or 15 minutes. So as we were walking down into Downtown Disney, where you go through bag check near the Rainforest Cafe and the ESPN zone, which will be actually closing very, very soon. We're hearing the end of May.
Wow.
To get ready for construction of the new 750-room hotel. As we were walking in, this whole area is changing. It's crazy to think all this stuff is going to be changing crazy. Disney doesn't let construction and building interrupt celebrations or special events or anything. They keep on going, moving forward. And right now we are celebrating Pixar Fest at the Disneyland Resort. And it'll be happening till, I believe, September 6th.
Wow.
As you're going into Downtown Disney, and I've sent you photographs of it, in the planters, there is sculptures of different Pixar movie topiary. There is a Finding Nemo one, an Incredibles one, there's a Toy Story one, and it's really done very, very well.
They are stunning, Tommy. They look so colourful.
Yeah, they're very colorful, and if you're not familiar with any of the Pixar stuff, you would totally miss it. What is this? This is really kind of cool. Maybe you can put up a couple of those pictures on your feed for people to see. But that's how you're walking in. As you're coming down, you're walking by the planters. You see this, and then of course they have banners hanging up on the light post. And now you're entering into the Esplanade, and now there are banners celebrating Pixar Fest. And over on one side at DCA, you have Frozone. Pixar Fest in big bold letters above the entranceway to Disney California Adventure, and over on the other side You have the Inside Out characters and Toy Story characters with Pixar Fest over the entrance gates of Disneyland. Blue, yellow, red bunting, bright colors all over, the Pixar colors, the bouncing ball colors. And it's bright, it's colorful. Oh, and also the background music. It's all Pixar movie music.
That's just like the extra cherry on top of the cake, isn't it? They've just gone and done everything to make it look, feel so Pixar-esque.
Yeah, exactly. Pixar-esque. That's the way to put it. But wait, there's more. The monorail passes you by and you look up and there's characters from Finding Nemo, The Incredibles. Yes, they've put overlays on top of the monorails.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So, it's really fun to see all the different things they have done just, as you're walking in and as you're getting ready to either go to Disneyland or Disney California Adventure to get you ready for the Pixar Fest.
So your wallet's been well and truly loosened.
Yes, exactly. So what park do we want to go into first?
Oh, let's go to Disneyland. Let's go to the original park.
So as you're going into Disneyland, of course, you pick up your map. And, of course, there's the Pixar characters on the map. It has all the different activities. And we'll talk about the parades.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so the Pixar Play Parade for many years has been performing over at Disney California Adventure. And now it is for this season for Pixar Fest. It is performing over at Disneyland. And there are a couple of new floats.
Which is a good thing because, they've moved it, so it needed a bit of a refreshment for that.
Yes, exactly. If you see it, it's still the same parade, still the same floats, except they added a up float.
So cute.
And there's Doug.
Yeah, Mr. Fredricksen.
Mr. Hendrickson, sorry. And, of course, there's Russell as well. And then you also have Inside Out float as well.
That looks amazing with all those memory balls.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's it for the new floats in the Pixar Play Parade, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'll have to admit, we only saw it as we were walking up Main Street because we had to meet up with some people. People are waiting for it. I think it doesn't fit in Disneyland per se overall because more Pixar experiences over at DCA than there are in Disneyland. But it's still pretty cool to see it over there. I think the festival, again, theme works, for that. Overlays. Let's talk about a little bit about overlays.
Okay, sure.
They've done overlays over restaurants before. And one of the overlays they've done, of course, is the Red Rose Tavern.
Yeah, what used to be the Village House.
Exactly. By the way, it's still at Red Rose Tavern, and they haven't changed it over yet. So it's kind of crazy. Anyway, this is a very popular thing. Been working pretty well for them, for Disney, to do this type of thing. Well, for Pixar Fest, they have done an overlay over the Red Rockets Pizza Port. And it is now Alien Pizza Planet.
Oh, how cool.
What they did is they had the aliens, little green men, dropping a sign over the old sign, dropping a banner on the sign. There are characters from that scene in the restaurant, outdoor of the restaurant. The theming is done quite well on the inside. The food is still the same. I think there's a cheeseburger pizza. I think that's what my son said that he noticed. But it's pretty much the same kind of food. They did paint the inside. They added 3-dimensional characters in the roof and on the windows. They put the little green men in the windows. And then they put up parody posters on the walls.
I loved it when they did it for the Muppets. This sounds amazing.
Yes, there are parody that takes off on Italian food, and it's quite cute. It's done really well. I think it's a good themed area. I'm not a big fan of this place. I like the salads there. The pizza is kind of expensive for what they charge, $7.59 a slice or something like that for a slice of pizza. No, not into that. I like the area because there's a lot of room. There's a covered space inside of the Space Mountain Q area. We walk up the ramp right next door to it. There's this covered space to go sit outside and relax. I like that area, especially during the summertime. You can also take a little nap there because they have long benches. And they have macarons.
The alien ones.
Yes, and they had a pudding, alien pudding. I think it's a chocolate and raspberry pudding. So let's talk about, now that we've transitioned to food.
Always.
Yes, of course. I haven't had a lot of the food, and so I'm still trying it. So we can talk more about the food later on as maybe an upcoming show if you want to. By the way, the food is very, very popular. Lots of people are waiting in line for this stuff, and long lines everywhere. There is a chicken wings and potato skins meal over at the Golden Horseshoe Review place and theater. Very, very popular. You can wait up almost 45 minutes to an hour waiting in line.
Whoa.
One time we walked by there, the line was going all the way to the churro cart. That's how far the line goes. Crazy, huh?
That's unreal.
Yes, exactly. Very, very popular. Love to try the food, but sorry, I'm not going to wait in line for 45 minutes. Did try the chocolate churro.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's a chocolate and cinnamon churro, and then they give you Mexican hot chocolate dipping sauce.
Ooh.
To try it. Now, my son, Jeremy, and my wife liked it a lot. I had one bite, and that was enough. The combinations of the two were just for my taste. You know, when I like chocolate, I like chocolate. I don't like cinnamon in chocolate. I don't like other things in chocolate. I just like chocolate, right?
Totally.
It wasn't for my taste. I'm sure I'm sure there are people that enjoy that type of mixture and combination, but it didn't do it for me. Another thing is they've changed up the menus over at Carnation Cafe. They had this TV dinner style tray of pork chop, mashed potatoes, vegetables, cornbread. We went and had a late lunch over there, and she ordered that, and oh my gosh, it was very, very good. The pork chop is glazed with applesauce. And it has little pieces of apple on top of it, on top of a really creamy, fluffy mashed potatoes. The vegetables, I think peas and carrots, were sauteed in garlic, which made it really tasty and different. And then the cornbread was very moist, very good, very, very tasty. Oh, there's like a chocolate pudding. And it's all set up in a tray, a TV tray. This is a ceramic dish, but it's all set up in a traditional TV tray layout. Yeah, very good. The price was very reasonable. Of course, you use your AP, get your discount. I would say the pork chop was just as good as the pork chop over at Carthay Circle.
Wow. This isn't on the menu, is it? It's a secret-ish.
Well, it's not a secret, but they tell you when you come to the table. We like to tell you what our specials are, and yes, so it is a special thing. Yeah, so highly recommend it.
Sounds something I've got to try.
Yes. There are other food items that we could talk about. Of course, there are cake pops. There's cake, there's cupcakes, tons of stuff. And of course, you can only have so much sugar in one day. So obviously I have to go back and try many different things. But I've heard that the Pixar cake that's available over Plaza Inn. Yes, that was very, very good. I've heard very good reviews about it. People have enjoyed it. It's very colorful.
I believe I've shared a picture on the Facebook before, but it will be on our show notes. If anyone wants to have a look at this yummy scrummy cake, please pop over.
That's what's really kind of cool about this particular festival and event is that every department, Disneyland, whether it be parades, entertainment, food, merchandising, they've all stepped up their game, and they're all doing an excellent bang-up job. Speaking about bang-up job, can I talk about the fireworks?
Go on.
Okay, so we were going to go see the fireworks the first weekend of Paint the Night, but it was a little windy, and I thought, we're going to stay at DCA, and we're going to watch the parade here. And then, of course, fireworks went off at Disneyland. I go, oh man, I missed the fireworks. I wanted to see the new fireworks show. I made it a point to go see the fireworks this week.
What's the new show called, Tommy?
Together Forever, a Pixar fireworks spectacular.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. So we got there an hour before. We were on Main Street, where Disney Clothiers is.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where we stood. We didn't want to be close to the castle this time, but we want to be on Main Street because we wanted to see the projections along Main Street. I'm going to be very frank. If you have time, you have to see this show at least 2 or 3 times to really get the full effect of the show. And the reason why, and this is because this is the same thing I had to say about the 60th anniversary show, fireworks show as well. There is so much to see and so much to grasp. You have the projections on the Main Street buildings, you have the projections on the castle, you have the fireworks in the sky, and you also have the flyovers over the castle. It's only a 12-minute show. Some reservations, again, Pixar reservations about it, because Pixar movies don't tug to my heart as much as the Disney movies, okay? But I do like Toy Story. My favorite Pixar movies are Toy Story movies, and also the Incredibles. And I like Cars a little bit. I didn't have high expectations for it, but I was pleasantly surprised and happy with this particular show because it gave you enough of everything. What was really kind of cool about this particular show is that the fireworks are probably, for Disneyland fireworks, they shoot off a ton of fireworks. It's really amazing. It's really, really good. The show starts, there's no introduction, the lights go dim, the Main Street music stops, and all of a sudden the music goes and the fireworks start. There's projections from the movies Up, Bugs Life, Toy Story, every Pixar, Incredibles, Cars. Oh, every Pixar movie that's out there, it's on there. It's really, really good. The projections are sharp. They're very clear. They even had a scene from their new movie Coco, and when they get to that Coco scene, there's inflatables, and the characters from Coco inflate, and they're on the top of the roofs of the Main Street buildings.
Oh, wow.
And when that scene happened and that display happened, everyone was clapping and yelling and screaming, and how happy they were for it. That's at that point when I realized that even though Disney and the Disney movies that I grew up were my generation that pull at my heartstrings, Pixar movies, and for a lot of people in their generation that grew up on this stuff, their first experiences were Disney Pixar movies. I could appreciate that, more, and how excited they were to see the characters that they love and connect with have made an impact on their life. They use the fires jets that they have, they use those. But what's even more exciting is that, when the show starts, a typical Disney show starts, there's usually Tinkerbell that flies, right? Well, this is a Pixar fireworks show.
Yeah.
Buzz flies in.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
This show has its unique Pixar feel. And of course, there's another scene where the Up balloon flies in and flies over the castle and back. And it's just really well done. But there's just so much to see. There's just, you have to go see this. You have to go see this show a couple of times to really grasp everything. And I'm looking forward to going back and getting a closer view.
Okay. Well, now we've wrapped up Disneyland, what about the offerings at DCA?
Very similar. Very similar from the standpoint of food. There's obviously, the cake pops and things like that is all available over there. Over at Schmoothies, there's a mint chocolate chip shake. Oh my gosh. My son got that. It is fantastic. Fantastic. Chocolatey, and it's sweet, and it's so good. Mint and chocolate work really well. Cinnamon and chocolate don't work well, but mint and chocolate work very, very well together. Of course, there's the Mike over at the Bodine Sourdough Bakery. You can get yourself a Mike Bodine sourdough bread. Shaped as a big eye.
That's so cute. Can you imagine the sandwich you could make with that? It'd be huge.
It's quite unique, quite big. And there's some special food offerings over at the Paradise Gardens. I think they now call it Pixar Gardens. I didn't get a really good close look over there, so I apologize for that. They had meet and greets where you can go meet with, I saw Doug and Russell over there and Mr. Fredrickson. There were some other Pixar meet and greets over there as well. I can't remember who it was. And then there's also some static displays from Coco that you can go take pictures with.
And again, you kindly supplied me with some pictures, which I'll pop on over on our website.
Yep. And then there's an AP Center, so all the annual pass holders can go over there, get pictures taken. They'll also give you some decals. It's kind of cool. They're Pixar Fest decals, so you can take them. They give you 2 of each on a sheet, so you can keep one and give one to a friend. So there's that over there. Well, the big news, of course, is finishing Pixar Pier. And they, just to give you an update on what's going on over there, is that they are moving very quickly to their June opening date. Roller coaster is turning into the Incredible Coaster, and with an Incredibles theme. They've totally revamped that and working on the track and the tunnels, and inside the tunnels are going to be projections inside the tunnels, which will be kind of cool and unique and different. That will be opening, like I said, in June. If you go over to the Blue Sky Cellar, you can go in and see all the different work, the models for it. You can see all the work that they're doing, all the plans that they have for Pixar Pier. It's going to be, it's pretty amazing to see a transformation of the area that 6 months ago, back in December, was the Paradise Pier, and it's going to have a new restaurant. It's going to have a new gondolas on the Ferris wheel. It's going to have new stores. It's going to have new rides. There's going to be a Inside Out ride, put where the Malibu ride is. There's going to be rides that are refreshed, such as the Carousel, the Cove Bar, and the Arios Grotto restaurant. It's going to be rethemed and redone and have a new Pixar feel to it. This is all going to be done and ready by June. It's exciting to see.
Wow.
This is pretty cool stuff to see what's happening over there. Of course, the big thing, the most popular thing at DCA is the return of the most beloved parade right now. I would say the nighttime parade in any Disney theme park, which is Paint the Night.
Absolutely.
And Paint the Night has returned. It's wonderful. It's a fun parade. It fits very well in DCA, but there's been a change to it. Anna and Elsa are gone.
They let them go?
They let them go.
So what's in place of Anna and Elsa?
Well, there are some new friends coming. The Incredibles are coming. And they're going to be coming in June when their new movie releases.
Ah.
Yes, exactly. This parade looks great. There's the princesses. I know this is the parade that you feel like does it belong in Disneyland? Yes, because it has Mickey Mouse in it, Donald Duck, Goofy, Minnie Mouse. It has all the characters, but it still fits very, very well over there. It's a nice wide parade route. It starts over at Paradise Pier and goes all the way down to where the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction is. And so it's a long parade route. There's plenty of places to go watch the parade. We only had to wait like 40 minutes or so to get our spot. You can go at the 10:45 show and pretty much it's easy. Lots of room. I highly recommend seeing it. It's a great parade. The floats look great. All the characters look great. The costumes are beautiful. It's a great show. It's a great parade. I love it. It fits really well in DCA. I'm happy that it's there. I need to watch it from where the Carthay Circle restaurant is. I think that'd be a kind of nice place to see it from. And of course, you can also, they have special packages that you can buy. In front of Carthay Circle, there's a dinner package deal.
We talked about that the other week. It's, I think, $99 for 4 courses.
Yep. There are many opportunities to enjoy Pixar Fest at Disneyland and DCA. Do you have any questions for me?
The only thing that's on my mind at the moment with all of this, with you saying about the parade that's in Disneyland not quite gelling, surely it would have been better to put the daytime parade into DCA and keep predominantly Pixar Fest to one of the parks and keep Disneyland as Disneyland? I don't know. What do you think?
You know what? I really think this is a test. The reason why is because Galaxy Edge is going to be opening up and they need to siphon people.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are concerned of overcrowding and they are concerned of traffic jams and of the sort, and they are trying to find things to pull people, events, parades, whatever it is, to pull people away from Disneyland. And I think this is a test to see, well, we'll put the most popular parade that we've ever have, which is Paint the Night, and we're going to put it in DCA, and will it pull people? And it does pull people away from Disneyland. Because the APers, people who see it for the first time fall in love with it because it's a very bright and colorful parade. When people come to Disneyland, they want to see Mickey Mouse. They want to see him in a parade. They want to see him. Yeah. They want to meet and greet with him, I think we'll start seeing more and more things at DCA to attract more people, to pull them away from Disneyland so that they can balance things out.
Absolutely. Well, before we finish off and we say farewell, would you like to give yourself a little bit of a shout out where we can find you, Cruise Dooding, Dis Geeking and Sea Winding?
Yes, you can find me over at my Disney loving podcast, the Dis Geek podcast. We're at disgeek.com, where we put out a show about every 2 or 3 weeks. I'm with my podcasting friends, Daniel Hale, my son Christopher, and Jessica, and we talk everything that goes on at Disneyland. And now, because Daniel he's in North Carolina, we also talk about Walt Disney World and all the things that are happening on the East Coast. So we've become a bi-coastal show. It's really exciting. It's good to hear all the neat things that are happening at Walt Disney World and the experiences over there, as well as we share what's happening at Disneyland, all the neat things that are happening there. My other show is Cruise Dudes podcast, and it is with my brother-in-law, and we talk about our second favorite thing to do, which is cruise ship vacations. We love going on cruises, things you can do on a cruise, on shore, and aboard a cruise ship. We also have an app, which is called Sea Wind Magazine. It's a digital magazine. You can find it on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Again, it's an interactive digital magazine, which has articles, video, audio. It's really fun. A project that we've been working on for last year. We've just put out issue number 3. We're working on issue number 4. So you can find those 2 things at cruisedudes.com and seawindmag.com. And there's links and where you can find the magazine and everything there. Thank you for letting me share.
My pleasure. I highly recommend you check out all 3 of those places. Tommy, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for getting up so early to chat with me. I look forward to when we can do this face-to-face in real life.
Absolutely. You're coming to Walt Disney World this summer, so we'll see what happens on my end, see if I can maybe fly out there for a couple of days, see you or something.
That would be perfect. But until then, my friend, we'll speak soon.
Where dreams begin.
So, Jayne, that was our expert Tommy. It all sounds amazing.
It does indeed.
The food pictures, the popcorn pictures are really getting me excited.
Yeah.
Now, I've got another listener's question for us to tackle before we wrap up the show.
Okay.
And this is from our good friend Mitchell Taylor. And he wants to know, there's a big event happening in Disneyland Paris in June called Fan Days.
Yes.
And the park is literally going to be awash with 32 different meet and greets.
This is quite an event, isn't it, really?
It is amazing. There's everybody. There's people on here I don't even know where they are from. Seriously.
Yeah, there are a few names you go, I think I recognise you, but I might have to do a bit of a Google.
I was looking at number 26, Honey Lemon, and I thought, hang on a minute, they've mixed up the food with the character meats, and then I thought, Go to Margot. Ah, now I know what it is. But yeah, there's some amazing meet and greets. So he's basically said, who do we want to meet?
Okay, right. Shall I go first?
Go on, lovey.
Well, my first choice is going to be, shall I give the number as well? Number 9, sounds like I'm ordering Chinese. Number 9, and that's Cusco, Kronk, and then I'm not bothered about the third one.
What's the third one?
It's Eleanor of Avalor. I don't want to beat her, but I want to meet Cusco and Kronk. I'm not quite sure why Eleanor of Avalor is in with Cusco and Kronk. But
yeah, a bit of a random one, that.
Yeah. And that's because Emperor's New Groove, they used to do a TV series. And it was something that Molly, my daughter, used to go to time and time again. So I've got a bit of a soft spot for Cusco and Kronk. And I love Patrick Warburton doing Kronk as well. So that was that one. And then, I'm kind of going in order here. Number 10, Roger Rabbit.
Oh, and Eddie Valiant as well.
Yeah, Roger Rabbit.
You see, I've met Roger Rabbit.
I haven't.
Oh, I'm surprised they're not having their totally inappropriate Jessica Rabbit with the Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that's a bit of an iffy one to do, really, isn't it?
Those of you who don't know what we're talking about, yeah, just Google it and don't show the kids.
No, but it's Roger Rabbit.
It is. Anyone else?
Number 12.
Okay.
This is Boo and Sully and George and Needleman. So we're talking Monsters Inc. And again, Monsters Inc. is quite a big thing in our household. Again, my daughter is Sully mad completely. In fact, I'm recording on her PC at the moment. And on her bed behind me, I think there's 5 different Sully soft plush toys, and that's only because I won't let her get any more. So we'd have to do Boo and Sully. And then I saw another one, and you know, like you said before about you see names and you go, where are they from? And it took me a little 10 seconds, and I realised, and I thought, I'm going to have to do that. And that's number 30, Pleakley and Jumba.
Wow, where are they from?
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, I've never seen it, so that's why I don't know.
Wash your mouth out, Michelle. You must watch Lilo and Stitch. It's Hawaii and it's beautiful. It's got Elvis in it and it's just like, yay. But yes, Pleakley and Jumba from Lilo and Stitch. Again, 2 random characters that I would never imagine seeing in the park because they're not the main character. Well, they are main characters, but they're not the lead characters. So, yeah. So that's I know I should have picked 3, but I've picked 4. So, hey-ho. What about you?
I'm going to start off with Duffy and Shelley May for the win.
Oh,
I'm only upset they haven't got Stella Lou. I'm so Stella Lou crazy at the moment. I've just literally received from Hong Kong Disneyland this little Stella Lou little coin purse for me to take on away with me for when I'm sort of going and buying the pressed pennies. I'm just so about, so that for me is amazing. That's a big must. Brer Bear, Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit. I've met Brer Rabbit before, but I haven't met the others. And Song of the South I love. And I'm going to be good, and I'm going to stick to the 3. My third one is a trio of kitty goodness, and that's Marie Berlioz and Toulouse. Abraham DeLacy, Giuseppe Gacy, and Thomas O'Malley. And I wish he was going to be there because that would be amazing.
Yeah. I think I could have picked those that you were going to pick, actually.
Am I that obvious?
Now I just know you really well.
Well, true. But yes, if anyone's going to this event, please feed back to us. We'd love some pictures. We'd love to know how the day's going. And Michelle would like to know who Yaya, Gauchita and Burrito is and whether they taste nice.
Yeah, some of them do sound like menu items, don't they?
Yeah. I've decided not to go anywhere because Snow White's not meeting.
No, but it is a completely amazing list when you look at it. And there should be something on there for everybody. And again, DLP do seem to do these character things really well, don't they?
True. And the pinnacle for many people is number 31, which is Heroes and Villains Alley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's when you look at the map and you see all these numbers all over the map, you're thinking you're literally not going to be able to go anywhere without bumping into somebody or other, isn't it?
Or a queue.
Probably a queue, actually, yeah.
But yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff there. Thank you, Mitchell and Diane, for the wonderful questions. We love answering your questions, and if you've got anything you'd like to ask us, please let us know. Also, this week we gave away a couple of beautiful, stunning bows from the lovely Angie Mills. She has set herself up with a wonderful little Etsy store called Lollipops and Magic, and she does all sorts of bows and Disney-fied things. Please go look. I'm going to put a link in the show notes for you. And she's even done, Jayne, an exclusive Disney Dreamgirls bow.
Oh, bless her.
I know. Absolutely, she is amazing. Absolutely amazing. She's doing all sorts. She's even crafting these acid sketched glass things at the moment, like a wine glass, and she's got
right, yeah.
It's like, what? She's magic.
Oh, somebody good to keep close then, Michelle.
She definitely is. Love you, Angie, baby. And she's just booked a solo trip as well to DLP.
Wow, lucky lady.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to get in touch with us, ask us a question, leave us a comment, anything, come part of our loving Disney family, because we want to hear from you guys, because you are our show. You make it happen. info@disneydreamgirls.com, Twitter @DisDreamGirls, Instagram Disney_dream_girls. I think that's about it. If you want extra audio, pop on over to our Patreon, and if you'd like to support us financially, we do pop out some extra wonderful audio content, and we do have, coming out in the next day or so, some additional audio I recorded with Tommy, and Jayne and I are going to be also talking a little bit ourselves about park etiquette, and that's over on Patreon. But until our next week's show, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.